and welcome to my garden and the dinosaurs who live there. We're on Saturday the 4th of June and it is a glorious day. So I didn't manage to get in a May garden tour, so what I thought I'd do now is do an early June garden tour just to get you caught up with what's happening here in my West of Scotland garden. Okay, let's start at the side of the deck. And here we can see I have some Kelvin Wonder peas. And we're starting to get some pods, which is great. And still plenty of flowers to go. And if I just move along, you can see my sweet peas here. This is a variety of sweet peas. No flowers yet. And they've still got a bit of growing to go, but they're looking good. Next door to that, we've got this black currant. What is the variety? I think I've lost it. Yeah, I've lost the variety. I've not really done much with this black currant again. I didn't really prune it properly, so I don't know whether I'll get much at all this year. I really need to get that sorted for next year. There's a potato there. I think that'll be a Casablanca, if my memory serves me well. And I'll just swing round, and here's the main strawberry bed. Not sure of the varieties, but they're looking good and starting to fruit up, which is great. And then here we've got some raspberries, which are taking over the joint. And as you can see, there's some fruits forming. And if I just step back, there's actually some clematis, two types of clematis just on the back trellis there. This one's a sort of deep pink, which is lovely. And this one's a lighter pink. Look at these amazing scarlet oriental poppies. There's one there that's gone over, but the rest are in full flower mode. They really are gorgeous. It's just a shame that they don't last too long. Now, this little, what was an onion bed, has been invaded. Last year I grew Picasso, past 2 years actually, I grew Picasso main crops in here. And as you can see, I must have a volunteer here. So it's sort of taken over to the detriment of my poor overwintering onions. I'm rubbish at growing onions, but anyway. So I've still got some overwintering onions in here. They're not looking very great, but I'll keep them going and I'll use what I get, and then I maybe have a few potatoes from this bed as well. This is a new bed for this year, a couple of pallet collars, one on top of the other, and it's going great guns actually. I have 3 rows of carrots, you can see here, which are starting to grow really well. I then have a row of beetroot, but that's being swamped a little by the turnip that I have in here as well, small white top turnips. But hopefully the turnip will be harvested in the not too distant future, and then the beetroot can grow on, and the carrots are looking great. And if I just move up and come over here, you can see one of my hostas in a pot. that has not been affected by slugs and snails yet. I'll give them time. So I'm down in the bottom corner where the sycamore tree was removed. I've had to do a little bit of clearing here. You can see the secateurs just sitting there. I had some brambles coming back, and I wanted to clear out the foliage from the daffodils and the tulips and things. And it's looking quite nice now, and you can see there's a couple of hart's tongue ferns that have been in here for a while, and I'm able to see them a lot better now that I've done my bit of a tidy up. There's some lovely sort of shuttlecock type ferns at the back here. I'll just move this out of the way. So yeah, some lovely ferns at the back, and there's a little one here as well. Dinky, not stinky. There's a little rhododendron that was sort of jammed in the back here. It was a sort of extra, if you like, but it's flowering its little socks off. Look at these, aren't they gorgeous? The geranium, this perennial geranium, is just all over the garden. It's doing my head in, but never mind. The bees are loving all the flowers. This is a clump that has just self-seeded over time. Or actually, it's not self-seeded. What am I talking about? It's actually the roots just sort of extend just under the ground, and that's how it gets about. So there's some there. There's some over there. There's some in the background there. This area is needing a bit of attention, but I haven't got around to doing that yet. There's some weeds. There's also some nice perennials in there. There's some nice aquilegia in there, but I've not got around to sorting it out yet. Here's 3 or 4 pots of potatoes here. Got some Casablanca and some Charlotte, and they're at about 4 foot tall now, the haulms. So if the growth of the potatoes under the soil is anything as good as the foliage, then hopefully I'll get some nice spuds later on in the year. They're looking quite happy. Look at this phormium, or New Zealand flax I think it's also called. These flower spikes, it's a shame the flowers aren't very pretty, truth be known, but the flower spikes are amazing. Here at the arch, as suspected, the slugs have been trying to consume my baby boo squash. You can see they've had a good old go at that leaf. But what I've now done is I've put 3 strands of copper tape up the sort of bottom edge of the arch. We've got wool pellets, and also I've sort of put some more copper tape just over the slug collar, anti-slug collar. So I'm doing my best to try and stop this thing getting consumed until it, when it grows that bit bigger, it's able to sort of fend off any attacks, and I think it gets less palatable as well. So yeah, that was my best of the 2 that I've put in, and that was munched a bit, but hopefully it's going to be okay. Just next to it, here's some of my garlic. Some are going to be an okay size and others are teeny tiny. This is Checkmate, my own, and Hardneck. I'm starting to get some scapes coming up, so I'll get those and chop them up and use those as a nice garlicky accompaniment to whatever. Then look at the other side of the arch. Well, at the side we've got some broad beans. These are spring sown broad beans. I didn't get around to doing it in the autumn. Plenty of flowers. They're not very tall, but hopefully I'll get some broad beans. And just under the arch there are some chard. And if I just go to the other side of the arch, I'll just need to do a bit of a detour. This was the poorer of the two squash, but this one's doing a bit better because it didn't get munched so much by slugs. So I've still got two baby boo, although one has had a bit of a beating from the slugs, but I'm hoping that we will get them growing up this arch, which would be fantastic. Just to the side of the arch, I've got some more. It's a pot of more broad beans. What variety is it? Oh, it's the purple ones beginning with K, I think. Can't remember. If I remember, I'll pop it up on the video. But again, not very tall, spring sown, but we should get some nice broad beans. Now we're on the patio here, and here are 3 small pots of potatoes, or 3 pots of small potatoes at the moment, and these are 3 from the single seed potato challenge that I'm doing. So there's 3 pots, and if I just swing round here, there's another 4 pots here. So these 7 pots in total have all come from a single potato, and the objective is to see how many potatoes you can grow from that single potato. So they're doing fine. Not really big, but they're doing fine, so fingers crossed that we get a good yield. So one thing that I have managed to do quite successfully this year, or over the winter anyway, is to overwinter dahlia tubers, and it's the first time I've really had such a high number of tubers coming through the winter. So, and I had also bought some other dahlias, so as a result I've got loads of dahlias in the garden, which is great. Not flowering yet, but I've got them dotted about all over the place. So if I just swing you around here, there's a dahlia here, and that's one of last year's. It's had a wee bit of a chew from slugs, but should be okay. And then down here there's another one from last year. This is a geranium. Can't believe I actually bought a couple of geraniums, perennial geraniums this year, considering the hysteria I have with the one that is taking over the garden. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. And down here we've got the first carrots that I sowed this year. Looking a bit pitiful, to be honest. This is rainbow mix, and they're growing, but actually the ones I showed you in the other bed, the pallet collar bed, are doing much better. So I think these are probably going to be baby baby carrots at best. And another sort of fail, I think, is my only cucumber. This is Marketmore, and it's just not happy. It's a bit wilted looking, but there's plenty of moisture in the soil. Yeah, I think it's probably going to give up the ghost, which is a shame because I do like cucumbers. I love cucumbers, in fact, as do the chickens and the quail. So whether I go and buy some cucumber plants, I don't know, because the house is going on the market next week, I think, or the week after at the latest. So we are potentially going to be moving, so it's probably not wise for me to buy anything for the garden, because I'm just going to have to take it with me to the new place or leave it. So maybe if this one doesn't survive, that's cucumbers done for this year. On the deck here's another of last year's dahlias. It's looking quite good. And here's a couple, well this one's from last year, a bit moth-eaten looking. And this is this year, a new one for this year called Tangerine Sorbet, but it's looking a bit sorrowful, unfortunately, but hopefully it'll pick up. Over here we have some dahlias from last year as well, starting to flower. They're looking fine. And down here I've got a couple of tomatoes. I didn't grow them myself. A friend gave me them. I didn't want to grow any of my own this year. These are both Alicante. Small, but hopefully they'll be fine. More potatoes. Lots of potatoes all over the place. Some more garlic. Just 4 here, but looking good. This is again Checkmate. And here is my lovely peony bowl of beauty. No blooms yet, but you can see the buds are forming. So we're going to get a lovely lot of bowl of beauty flowers later in the summer. And just behind you can see some rhododendron that are just going over now. But they were glorious as well earlier on in the month, or earlier on in May I should say. Okay, well I think that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this little tour. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and I will talk to you again very, very soon. Bye bye for now. Bye.